boys and girls. This is Mrs. Williams, and we're going to talk about the book that you just read with me called Ada Twist, Scientist. And so in that book, we saw little Ada and all of the smart things she did as a scientist. Let's look. Oh, remember? Ada Marie. She said not a word till the day she turned 3. She was very quiet. But guess what? Remember when she started talking, she asked questions like why, what, how, when. She was very curious. When you're curious, that means you're really interested in different things and you're asking questions to figure out the answers. And so Ada was very curious. So we learned all about Ada, and she loved science. I know a lot of you are going to love science too. Science is so fun. So we read our book, we learned about Ada, and now we're going to put our book down and we're going to talk about the parts of a scientist, what you each have already to be a scientist. So here's our Ada. Ada Twist, the scientist, and we're going to look at Ada, and we're going to say, what does she have that makes her such a great scientist? So let's look. See, this is called labeling a picture. So I drew a picture of Ada, and then I made labels on Ada, and a label tells us what something is. So we are going to read about each label. Let's count how many labels there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 labels, and then we'll learn what makes Ada a great scientist. So let's look at this label first. It's pointing to her eyes or her glasses. So let's think about our eyes. Our eyes help us see, and we can see all different things in the world. We can see the moon, we can see the sun, we can look in a mirror and see ourselves. So let's read about eyes. It says parts of a scientist, eyes, for making observations. So observations is a really big word. But say I use my eyes to look at a giraffe. And my giraffe has spots, it's orange, it has some brown spots. Those are called observations. It's something you notice or something you see about something you're looking at. So Ada has her eyes that she uses to see and make observations, or to use her eyes to see clues on what she needs to know. Oh, this one's pointing to her head or her brain, her mind. Your mind is like saying your brain. So it says a curious mind for asking questions. So each of you have a very curious mind. And that means that you want to know why something happens, or how it works, or what. You might want to know what the moon is. Why is there a moon? How is the moon in the sky? What color is the moon? You can ask a lot of questions using your mind. And that makes you a great scientist. Okay, let's look at the next label. This one's pointing to her, what are these called? Hands, her hands. And scientists use their hands. It says, hands to test experiments. So when you come to school, we're going to do a lot of science experiments, and we're going to have to use our hands. We might put gloves on to keep our hands safe, but we're going to use our hands to experiment. So we are going to learn more about experiments later this week. The next label is pointing to her feet. You use your feet to explore and investigate the world. So your feet help you walk, and that means you can walk around your yard and you can look for bugs, or you could run really fast with your feet. And your feet help you be a good scientist because you can use your feet to explore. Let's see what's next. This one's pointing to her pocket. But what's in her pocket? Those are called tools. She has a pencil and a ruler in her pocket. So scientists have a lots of different tools. They have magnifying glasses that might help them if they caught a little bitty bug and they want to put it under a magnifying glass and look at it closer. They might use a ruler to measure something to see how big it is. They have to have a pencil to write down the things that they find out. So these are all some tools that a scientist might use. And it's very important for a scientist to have their tools. So that is all of our labels. That is just some things that makes you a great scientist. So when you come to kindergarten, we're going to learn more about being a scientist. And later this week, we're going to do an experiment. So be excited and start noticing your eyes and how they find things in the world, and your mind and how you ask questions, and take your feet and go explore, and your hands to test experiments and learn more about something. Hope y'all all have a great rest of your day.